question is, thank you. The ways and meaning of making art, a discussion of various artistic disciplines and approaches to creating art that engages the general public or a specific community. And so if I were to put that in context, how it engages the public and a specific community, the background first, the background, and then moving forward how some of my experiences have been specifically about the community. But again, you know, I echo an environment from which I came, family members involved in the aesthetics, essentially the sewing, hair, beauty salons, photography, painting, aunts and uncles, on my maternal and paternal side, although I didn't know on the paternal side at the time. So I came from an environment, and then, you know, I also have to, I give credit to the school system in which I was in, because they really pushed us going to museums. I took courses at Brooklyn Museum, Pratt Institute, all of this in my junior high school years. Then I went off into dance performing. I always wanted to be a performer. So I went off into performing arts, dance. Catherine Dunham was very much involved in that for some time performing. And then back into the visual arts, high school of music and art, school of visual arts, Atlanta. I'm in Atlanta. And then at the Neighborhood Arts Center, but let me first say this, but in New York, at the Brooklyn Museum in Art Education, engaging with the community, learning and teaching different methods of art that I really didn't, you know, well, I went to a formal college, Western Art Institute, School of Visual Arts. So I majored in sculpture and in painting. But in these places where I was dealing with the communities, you know, we were dealing with more, what would you call it? Indigenous forms of art using, you know, textile methods and that kind of thing. So I sort of moved into that territory, and I brought it with me to Atlanta, so that when I was employed at the Neighborhood Arts Center back in the 70s, I took the position that people can really learn these techniques and use them to improve their lives around them, because as in Africa and other societies, people are creating for many different reasons that have not necessarily anything to do with art for art's sake. I mean, that's just a basic, I think, Western concept for the most part. But so that's how kind of I moved into dealing with the community. And then as my personal work goes, I feel like it just ran off track. And it ran off, when I say it ran off track, I mean that getting involved in arts administration, but also recognizing that I have other interests that are constantly pulling at me, and I want to get them all done, and I can't do them all. I'm told now that that's ADD. I wish I had known 50 years ago. I may have been able to control it better. But you know, but I have this urge to do these various things, and they really are big and very strong within me. And so that when I was in school, at the School of Visual Arts, one of my concerns, because artists there were basically creating, you know, staying focused and using one medium and producing these series of works. And I was very nervous about whether I was going to get my degree, because I couldn't work like that. I had developed the whole thing about crocheting certain forms, and then I had shoes going on, and then I had carved in limestone, and I had these other things going on, painting. I was all over the place, and I did not know whether they were going to recognize, accept the things that I had created as part of my portfolio. Fortunately for me, they did. But it stays with, and my position now is, you know, trying to work with medium processes that get whatever message I have across. The batik thing ended up sticking. I don't know how, you know, because I was working with it. I didn't do batik until I was teaching it at the Neighborhood Arts Center, and then somehow the thing ended up being part of my aesthetic. But I don't think of myself as a textile person. came